So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, we are back in the kitchen to spread the love, and nothing rivals a classic homemade dessert, especially baklava. Now, the texture of crisp, flaky phyllo pastry layered with a crunchy nut filling and then lathered in a sweet honey syrup is what dreams are made of. Ilham is back in the kitchen to help us make this delicious dessert. Yeah. This is always something that's it hits the spot after a yummy meal.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's super delicious, but I think daunting to a lot of people, just because, you know, it's like most people would buy this if they went to like a Greek restaurant or something. But I mean, yeah, I'm going to show you how to, we'll make it easy.
Okay, please show us how to make it easy.
So we're going to start with our phyllo pastry, and we're just going to brush each sheet with some melted Clover Classic spread.
There we go. And that's the amazing thing about our Clover Classics fat spread that we're using right now. You can use it for baking, you can use it for cooking, as well as for spreads on bread.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then we're going to lay it in our little dish over here. So we're just going to first put a little bit of melted spread at the bottom.
There we go.
And then we're going to start with our first layer. So butter side up. And then we just carry on. And then Zoe, maybe you can mix the filling for me. So that's going to be our nut filling.
So we've got some walnuts, we've got some almonds.
And we've got some pistachio nuts. Now, pistachio nuts are quite expensive. So maybe, you know, if you have another nut preference that you like, you can use that. And then we've just got some ground cloves and some ground cinnamon that are going to go into our mixture, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to add that for us.
So we've got about like 12, I would say about 12 sheets of phyllo here. So if every 3 layers, so I've done the 3rd layer, right? Every 3 layers, then you can just sprinkle some nuts over.
How much nuts is appropriate?
I think, yeah, maybe just like a tablespoon and a bit.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more, just so that it's nice and we've got the complete thing covered.
There we go. I see what you mean.
Yeah. And then you can carry on and just maybe continue with the layers for me. So just keep on brushing these.
Definitely, I'll do
And then
that
I'm going to make the syrup. Now, I think the thing that makes baklava delicious is the syrup that goes on it. So we've got some water in our pot. We're going to add some stick cinnamon, some sugar, and then we're going to add a few pieces of zest from an orange.
Okay.
So we're just going to use a peeler to get some zest. And then we are going to just do a squeeze of lemon. Just a little bit of lemon juice in here. So it's really nice and fresh and fragrant.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go in with the honey.
There we go. Ooh, look at that honey.
Yeah, and then this, just as it heats up and the sugar melts, we want this to come to sort of like a simmer. We don't really want to stir too much. And then this will kind of reduce and thicken and form this really beautiful syrup that you see here.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about this recipe that intimidates people?
I don't know, maybe it's, again, the phyllo pastry. I think, you know, when people work with it, it can become dry, or I think it's just, you know, it needs a lot of fat, like melted fat, to make it work. And maybe just the nuts or the layering. Like, I think it seems more complicated than it actually is.
It certainly does. I had no idea it's actually such a simplistic recipe. Well, we do have this recipe available for you. You can find it at expressoshow.com. All of the ingredients, all of the steps to how we are making this baklava, Ilham is showing us now, is all available. So when will we drizzle our syrup?
So I'm actually going to drizzle a little bit of syrup over this one that we've made.
Okay.
And a really good tip with baklava or anything that has syrup in it, something has to be hot. So one thing has to be hot and one thing has to be cold. So if you have a cold baklava, then your syrup must be hot. And
okay.
So if you have, when that comes out of the oven, we'll put the cold syrup over the hot baklava. And then that way it will...
it balances out.
Yeah, and also it helps to soak up all the syrup.
Okay.
So we're just going to put a little bit more syrup
Look at that.
over this.
Okay, and the thing about baklava, it needs to have that crunchiness. So I feel like we need to test that out. Oh,
Would you like to have a...
of course. This is how I'm going to start my morning. There we go. I hope our photographer had taken a photo of this. I'm just going to take a little piece here at the top. I'm breaking it now. There we go. And you want that crunch. Come. There we go.
Ooh. I definitely heard that crunch.
That's a good crunch. That is how it needs to crunch on TV. There we go. This recipe is available for you. ExpressoShow.com. And if you've missed any of the steps that Ilham just showed us, we do have a recap for you.
Made with love by Clover.